Hello everyone, this is Alireza. Today, as you recall, we are going to draw our Node GUIs inside the work view. Now, before I do that, I need to create two styles, so that we don't get any problems. Now, the styles I need are also two of them, make it 15. One of them is used for Node default view, and the other one is Node selected. Okay, now Node default, if I recall, had node back active, node back normal, okay, and it has no hover state. And node selected has the node selected. Where is that? Node back selected. Okay, and the borders now are 6. Let me double check my nodes. Node default, yeah, they are 6. Okay, so no, what did I do? Come on, 6, 6, 6, 6, and border 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay, so inside the code, the very first thing we want to do, we say this dot viewRect equals to the viewRect we sent in. Then we say if node skin equals to null, we call get editor skin. And did I implement it? No. Now get editor skin is just a duplication of what we had inside our work view, or whatever it was. I'm not sure. So we check if we are pro skin, then we say node skin, come on, node skin equals to the dark one, otherwise read the light one. Okay, after that we want to process the event. So process events, we send in E and the viewRect. We can use both of them. It doesn't change the fact because we already set it, and this is redundant. After that, we say GUI.box. The box we want is the node rect, the name of the node, and if it's selected, then we want to say node skin dot get style node selected. Otherwise, we want the default style. So Control C, Control V, and node default. Let's see if this works. So coming back to Unity, we have no errors. We create a graph, test, we create a float, and suddenly we have a float node. If I hit add, we have an add node, but both of them are sitting on top of each other right now. Okay, so this is the add node, and you see that I get something there that's ugly anyway, and the float node. The reason you get this sum is that if you recall, in our add node, we had this guy, okay? So we should, for example, say GUI layout.begin area of our viewRect, not viewRect, node rect. and GUI layout dot end area, and here we can say GUI layout dot space of 20 pixels. So at least it will show inside the node itself, for example, here, okay? And then we can say, for example, GUI layout dot begin horizontal and GUI layout dot space of 30, Control C, Control V, and GUI layout dot end horizontal. So it will be pushed toward the center somewhat, not for sure. 30 is small, but meh, you get the gist. You can add stuff here, okay? And for example, your what kind of style is this guy using? Update node GUI. The base is node base, and no style for that, so I think it's node default. Middle center, upper center, there we go. Now it's moved to upper center, and of course this one needs to be upper center. Okay, so you can show stuff below that if you want. That was the reason we had this update node GUI, and I just wanted to show you that it's totally possible to add stuff and show them inside the GUI itself. Okay, like that. And we can add another style for this guy to sit in the lower center, for example. But I leave it to you. It's not important. I just wanted to show you that you can use update node GUI to show stuff inside each node by itself. Okay, but now we have a node and middle center. Now the question is, how can I select this node? Well, coming back to node base, we have process event. Don't forget that. In process event, we will handle two things. First is the selection of the node, and then is no, actually I think we handle it in node graph. Let me double check. Yeah, so for the selection we go into node graph. Where is that guy? Node graph process event. So we say if vrect dot contains e.mouse position, so if the mouse position is inside our work view, then we say if e.button equals to 0, so we left click something. Then we want to check if e.type equals to mouse down, so as soon as we click the mouse, we call the deselect all nodes method. Then we say show properties equals to false. Then we say boolean set node equals to false. And why did I use capital? Okay. Then we say selected node equals to null. Then we go for each loop inside nodes. We look for the node. We say if node dot inputs dot any. Then we know that we have inputs, so we want to before the loop actually we have a rect. We call it test rect equals to node dot rect. So if we have some inputs. Basically, what we are going to do is drawing some inputs in top. Okay, so we want to make sure if we click in that spot, we will select a node yet, and if we have outputs, we click on the output slots, then the node gets selected. So we are defining a test rect for testing our mouse position inside each node, and if we have inputs, then we want to say test rect dot y I said minus equals to 18, and test rect dot height plus equals to 18. Okay, so we effectively expanding the rect 18 pixels on top. Then we say if, in contrast, the outputs has something, then we simply want to add plus 18 to the height again. After that, we say if test rect that we defined already dot contains e.mouse position. So if we clicked in that defined rect, then we want to say selected node equals to the current node. Then we say set node equals to true. So we set a node. Then we say node dot is selected equals to true. So we flag the node itself, and we break out of the loop. Okay. After the loop, we check if not set node. So if we didn't set any nodes, we call the deselect all nodes again. Then we have something to do if we want to do the connections, but we come to that later. Now, deselect all the nodes is really simple, and let me, so deselect all nodes, we simply loop through nodes, and we call node dot is selected equals to false. So we just flag the nodes to be false. Okay. And just in case, we say selected node equals to null, just in case. Now, if I come back, let it compile. If I move my mouse inside direct, click, you suddenly see that the node is getting borders different, and I hide that guy. Okay, okay. Oh, we see it. Okay. We have a node and we have a selected node, but I can't see the elements anyway. So if I click outside, the node gets deselected, and selected node is equals to null. Okay, so we can select deselect. Now, in process events, anything else? Yes. How about if we want to delete our nodes? So we still want to see if we are inside this view rect. Okay, we don't want to do that. Any place. We say if e.key code equals to keycode.delete, and selected node does not equal to null. We simply call the delete node with selected node, and we say selected node equals to null. Now, delete node simply says that we have to do stuff inside that node, but before that we say nodes dot remove the node. Okay, and I will comment it, do stuff regarding connections. We will take a look at this guy later when we have connections. So if I come back, I have no node selected. I hit delete, nothing happens. I select a node, anywhere, hit delete, and that node is being deleted. So select, help, delete, it deletes. Okay? In tools, delete, it deletes. So you just need to select the node and hit delete, and your node will be deleted. Now, how about we start drawing our connections for the node? Because I think, well, before that, how about we move the nodes around in process event? So in node base process event, we say if is selected and e.button equals to 0. So we are left, so we have the left click. We say if ViewRect, not ViewRect, yeah, ViewRect, sorry, that contains e.mouse position. Then we want to check if e.type equals to this time mouse drag. So we are holding the left mouse, we are inside the work view, and we are dragging the left mouse button. We say node rect dot x plus equals to e dot delta dot x. Delta means how much my mouse moved from previous frame to this frame, okay? And we do the same for y. Save, coming back, let it compile, create a node, select and drag. And now I can move my nodes around. Cool, isn't it? So, for example, another float node, and bam. Now, can I pan this guy like panning the canvas? Yes, we can. So we say if the mouse is not equals to 0, so else if ViewRect, capital 1, not this one, ViewRect that contains e.mouse position, then we say if e.type equals to mouse drag. Where's that on top? Mouse drag, and e.button equals to, I will go with right mouse key because I don't have any context menu. But if you are going to use a middle mouse drag, then it will be 2, okay? Then we say for each inside nodes, come on, for each parent graph dot nodes var node, then we want to do this. But you will see that I have to divide this delta with some number. Let's first take a look. So, oh, it's too fast, okay? And my mouse is offsets. So by test and actually it's just try and error, I found that if I divide this delta by parent nodes, by parent graph that nodes that count, I will get a very nice drag ability. Let's take a look now. So we have 3 nodes. I keep my mouse in the middle, and I drag and my mouse will keep in the middle. And I'm effectively moving my nodes around, all the nodes. And if, for example, I have another node here, I have one more node way out, all the nodes are moving with each other, okay? Let's start making a graph, why not? Float, and another float. Cool. So let's put this guy here. Nice. And I don't need the console, so close tab. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, so my monitor, ouch, why did I shut down my monitor? I tried to move it, not shutting it down. Okay, my left border was outside of my view. Okay, now go away, thank you. So we are now dragging our nodes. We still have time, so I want to draw that node graph. At least node inputs and outputs. For that, I need 3 extra styles. Okay, so in project, editor styles, dark style, thank you. And those styles are actually more than few. Okay, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holy crap. Okay, it will be 23. 8? Yeah, 23. Cool. Now, the first one will be node connection normal. Normal. And it will have node back connection. No, not that one. It's not that one. I think I used node normal for that. Let me double check. Node connection normal, node back normal, yeah. So node back normal. There. Then we have node connection occupied, and we have node connection occupied, node out active, node out active. Then we have node connection, what was that? Active. And for node connection active, I'm using node back connection. Blasphemy with my names. Connection active. Okay. After that, we want some styles for the borders of each node. So, for example, the float will have output. I want to draw some rounded rectangle on the bottom, and some of them as inputs, so a rounded rectangle on top. For that, we will have node connection back, lower left, node connection back, lower right, node connection back, upper left, node connection back, upper right, and finally node connection back, center. Okay, lower left is lower left, lower right, can't spell, can't pronounce, lower right, upper left, upper right, and finally the center one. Don't worry about these guys and how I made them. I will show every one of them at the end of the video series, at least in first iteration. And I just noticed that I'm not using this guy, so delete it. Disk IO error. Ouch. Guess what happened? I pulled out my external hard drive last night and pulled it today, and I lost it. Okay, pausing the video. Okay, got my styles back, and nothing fancy, just the 23 styles. So let's go back to code. Now, inside here, when we want to start drawing these guys, it will get ugly, so I will use regions here. So region out connections and region in connections, input output OCD. Okay, let's say if output dot any. So if we have output, then we say GUI dot box new rect with node rect dot x plus 6. So we move 6 pixels in. Then node rect dot y plus node rect dot height. So we move below the node, and 24 for the width and 18 for the height. Then we want its text, so it's nothing, and the style that would be node skin dot get a style node node connection back lower left. And what's wrong with you, guy? New rect dot y. No, dot height. Oh, come on, dot y. Okay, let's take a look, because I know I need to go step by step. Okay, so create a test graph. Create a float node, and that's the part that I'm drawing, and this is for the add, because add has inputs. So we moved 6 pixels in, we moved the height down, we draw this guy for 24 by 18. Next part, we copy paste this guy. Now we want to draw the other side, so node x plus node rect dot width, and we minus 32 with it. Okay, and that's our lower right. Why 32? Because 6 pixels in and it's 24, it's 30. I found that 32 sits nicer. You may wonder why. Anyway, and it should draw this guy on the other side, as you see. I may move it to 30. That makes sense. Yep. Okay, now we want to fill this gap. So I will copy this guy. And I will paste it, and this is GUI box node x plus 30, because remember we had 6 plus 24, so we moved 30 in. The height is the same, the width is changed now, so it's node rect dot width minus, I think 60 is the number, and the style is the center one. So we should fill this gap. There we go. So we have our output slots background. Now, if we have inputs, we will draw that guy, okay? So we go down. We have the same loop and this guy. So bam, but instead of outputs, we ask for inputs. The X and width is the same. This guy is changed. So we have Y minus 18 and we have Y minus 18 and we have Y minus 18. Let's take a look. So the add nodes has input and it's showing it, but I totally forgot to reverse the styles for these guys. So it's upper left and upper right. And it should flip. There we go. So the float has no inputs, so it doesn't draw it, but the add has inputs, so it draws the background. Now, we want to draw slots for the connections, okay? It has some magic numbers, and I totally found those magic numbers by just try and error. Trust me, it took me near 2 hours to figure the proper numbering. But we say if outputs that count, not contains, count is greater than 1, so we have more than one output, draw it differently than else, because now we are checking if it has any. We are sure that we don't have 0, so we are here. Let me draw it first. So we say outputs of 0 dot position equals to new vector 2 of node rect dot x plus node rect dot width divided by 2, comma, so that's the x, node rect dot y plus node rect dot height plus 8. 8 is half, almost half of our, no, it's half of the height that we will draw the GUI. Okay, so we say if GUI dot button, we want a new rect, and this guy is output of 0 dot position dot x minus 8, comma, we have the output 0 dot position dot y plus minus 7. Am I right? Yep. And it's 16 by 16. Okay. We have no text. And for the style, I am using nested ifs. Okay. And God damn it. Move down here. Thank you. So I'm using nested ifs, and I say outputs 0 dot is occupied. If it's occupied, then I check something else. We say is selected, or the outputs 0 dot child node does not equal to null, and that child node outputs 0 dot child node dot is selected we come out two parentheses. If one of these two conditions met is selected, or the child node is selected, and because of that I need to check if it's not null, else you may get null point exception. So if we are occupied, then we check if we are selected or our children is selected. We want to say, I will indent one, node skins dot get a style node connection active. Okay, and let me move this guy down like that. Otherwise, one extra space, we want the occupied one. So what I had done here is that I'm asking if we are occupied. If we are occupied, we want to see if we should show the occupied or the active background. If we are not selecting the node or its children, then we simply draw the occupied one. If we are selecting the node or its children, we are drawing the active one. If we are not occupied, however, we simply use the normal draw, and it had to ruin everything. Ouch! No. Like that. Better? Yeah. 10. Okay. And that's our if. So we are drawing the button now. Oh, come on! Don't do this. Okay. Now, what we are doing here, we say outputs 0 dot is occupied equals to true, and we handle the connections with the output of 0 because we clicked on that guy and we want to handle the connecting of this guy to other spaces. Same thing almost happens here, but if we have the count, we would go for I equals to 0. I is less than outputs.count. Then we paste it there and we replace 0 with I. And you will see that we have something more to do. Because if I don't do anything, all my inputs will draw on top of each other. Now, we say this guy equals to I multiplied by the node rect width minus 46. And I said these guys are magic numbers, so don't blame me, divided by outputs.count minus 1. This is why we separated the only one output, because we would get division by 0 error, okay? Plus node rect.x plus 22. The height plus 9. Why did I add 9 here? Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Plus 8. Plus 9. We will see how these two looks compared to each other anyway. So, here we have the same x, so the x is x. The y minus 7 and 16 by 16. Let's see how it looks now. If everything works, I should see one dot here, as you see, one dot here as output. Okay, so I'm not sure if I like this guy as 8, sorry, minus 9. No, plus 9 here. I pushed it even farther down. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. So plus 7. 2 pixels top, 2 pixels top. There we go, nice and centered. Almost. 1 pixels difference between these two. 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, 19, and these guys should be 19 too. 19. Make your life easier, use that insert key. Okay. So you may not notice it on video, but there is pixels offset. That was why I was tweaking these numbers. So this is plus 8 now. And we should be nice and centered now. Yeah, 1 pixel below, 1 pixel on top. Okay, now take a look. I select one node. It's not occupied. Because it's not occupied, it shows even this guy. I can make it even better, and we don't have time for that for the time being. In next episode maybe. So we have these guys, okay? All of it can be copied and pasted here for inputs, and instead of output count, we get input count. So we just replace these guys. Ouch, didn't mean to do that. And we have problems, but we will come there later. Ouch, not again. V, and V, and V. Okay, for the inputs. Let's start from top. Node rect minus 46 divided by 1 plus that. And we don't get this guy now. Instead, we minus by 8, and we will take how it will look. So after that, we have the X, but did I ruin this guy now? Because my numbers are different. Oh yeah. Okay. Here we need to minus it by how much? 6. Yeah. Totally forgot that part. So position X minus 6. The Y, however, is minus 7 again. Okay. Now the condition is changed because the Oh, look at here. I'm dumb. Okay, -8, -9. Okay. Now the condition here, because we don't have any child nodes, we have parent node now. And the parent node, and that's error is gone. Okay. And that's that. This guy has -8, and this is parent node and parent node. Okay, and this guy is -9. Now the method we call is now changed. We call finalize connection with the input of I, because now we are clicking at the input, and this is 0 here. Let's take a look. Now in add, we should see 2. Oh, I ruined something. Okay. Let's take a look. What did I miss? I node with, oh, there we go. Pair of parentheses for that. Okay. That's 1. And why are you not showing both of them? I multiplied, input 0, dumb. And I'm sure I used output 0 here. Okay. And here. And here. So anywhere else? No. Joys of copy pasting. Okay. So there we go. We have 2 buttons for our input and 1 button for output. Now, why did I call start connection here and finalize connection here? Because when you are working on node graphs, you always connect an output to an input. And take a look. Now it's working. Okay. So if I select a child, this guy should be highlighted. And this guy should be highlighted. So I ruined something there. Or no, I didn't ruin, because I am not doing this handle connection and finalize connection. Okay, so at least now you see that this node has 1 output and it's occupied. As soon as I click it, it's active. This node, however, has 1 input occupied, 1 input empty, 1 output empty. And if I select, it highlights. Because I'm not handling the connection properly yet, I don't see this guy, because I'm not setting the parent of this input right now. I'm just checking it. And that will happen in next episode when we are handling the connection, finalizing the connection, and draw the connections. So until next episode, have fun everyone. Bye-bye.